I want to do something big and something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we're doing something important. Deep in the race for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace. And we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
True, true. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are watching It's a Wonderful Life. What do I know about It's a Wonderful Life? Well, not much, other than it's a Christmas movie and Jimmy Stewart is in it. We've done a few of his movies. That's all I know about It's a Wonderful Life going into it. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, guys. You are now in Bedford Falls. Hopefully I read that correctly.
I owe everything to George Bailey. Help him, dear father. He never thinks about himself, God. That's why he's in trouble.
So who is George Bailey?
A lot of people asking for help for a man named George Bailey. Oh, Clarence hasn't got his wings yet, has he? Joseph, send for Clarence.
I like that this is universe talking, God, or whatever you want to call it.
That man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, dear, his life. Might I perhaps win my wings?
Clarence, you do a good job with George Bailey, and you'll get your wings.
Oh.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down. You're in the space.
Hey, who's that?
That's your problem, George Bailey.
That's your problem.
Something happens here you'll have to remember later on. George saved his brother's life that day, but he caught a bad cold, which infected his left ear. Cost him his hearing in that ear.
Ooh, damn.
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in the county.
I kind of like the name, though. I really do like the name. So he's going to be the Mr. Scrooge of the bunch.
Wish I had $1 million. Hot dog! Made up your mind yet? I'll take chocolate. With coconuts? I don't like coconuts. You don't like coconuts? Say, Brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from?
Hey, Brainless.
Is this the year you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die. I'm going out exploring someday, and maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
Wait and see. And yet she told you that she loved you, but you couldn't hear it because it was in your left ear. Poison.
Have you put any real pressure on these people of yours to pay those mortgages? Are you running a business or a charity war?
Well, all
Not with my money.
Can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
Oh, I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you.
Yeah, he's Scrooge.
Don't let him say that about you, Pop.
At least he stood up for his pop.
Where's Miss Blade's voice of capsules? Didn't you hear what I said?
No, I didn't catch what he said.
You got the telegram and you're upset. You put something bad in those capsules. It wasn't your fault, Mr. Gower. I would have felt so hooked to die, I would.
Tell me, did he ever tell anyone about the pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
Well, wait and see.
How much this cost?
No charge.
Why no charge?
Present from old man Gower.
Would his old boss still be alive?
Hey, send me some of those picture postcards, will you? Hi, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hi, Bert.
George.
Hey, I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Why is he so popular, though?
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. That's some dress you got on there.
What? This old thing? Well, I only wear it when I don't care how I look.
Makes your heart skip a beat.
I had another tussle with Potter today. I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little bit. He hates everybody that has anything that he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
That's because you have something that he doesn't have, which is a family and people like you and that sort of thing. Money is not the only measure of success.
You know, George, I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
If Harry will take my job in the building loan, work there for 4 years, then he'll go. Build things, design new buildings, plan modern cities.
So he wants to be an architect?
You wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. I want to do something big and something important.
You know, George, I feel that in a small way we're doing something important. Deep in the race for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace. And we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
True. True.
I just feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
It's that age-old argument, I guess you could say.
Town is no place for any man unless he's willing to crawl to Potter.
Now, why would you say that? I know he's powerful and rich and probably owns half the town. That's 1928, 5 years away, almost 100 years away.
Well, you remember my kid sister Mary?
Oh, yeah.
Dance with her, will you?
Whoever it was, because it'd be scared.
She wasn't even paying attention to the guy that was talking to her.
Well, hello.
Hello. You look at me as if you didn't know me.
Well, I don't.
That's probably true.
The big Charleston contest.
Finally, we get the Charleston. I've been waiting for a movie that actually features the Charleston. Keep hearing about it, but no one actually does it. I almost said I would pay good money to see him do the Charleston. I can't tell if the footage is sped up any when they're actually doing the Charleston or not. I don't think it is, but it just seems a little bit quick.
Did you know there's a swimming pool under this floor? And did you further know that George Bailey is dancing right over that crack?
This is not a good idea. He's gonna do it anyway. Just because he's mad.
We must be good.
I wasn't sure if the pool was full or not. I just couldn't tell because of the black and white. Everybody's jumping in.
Buffalo girls, can't you come up tonight? Can't you come up tonight? Can't you come up tonight?
Do I look as funny as you do?
You look wonderful.
Yeah, she looks better than he does.
If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town. How old are you anyway?
18.
You don't ask a woman that.
Just right. Your age fits you. You look a little older without your clothes on. Without a dress, you look older. I mean younger. You look you just. Uh-oh.
Dude, you already put one foot in your mouth, and you're going for a second one.
Well, you're caboose, me lady.
But she's into him, so it's okay.
You make a wish and then try and break some glass in. You got to be a pretty good shot nowadays, too.
I'd like to live in it.
In that place?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't live in as a ghost.
I wouldn't live in it as a ghost.
And I'm gonna see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build airfields. I'm gonna build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm gonna build bridges a mile long. Hey, that's pretty good.
What did she wish for?
If I told you, it might not come true.
She already told him years ago.
I'll give you the moon, Mary.
I'll take it.
I'll give you the moon.
But then you could swallow it, and the moonbeams would shoot out of your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair. Am I talking too much?
Yes. Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Exactly.
Want me to kiss her, huh?
Yeah.
Who's this wasted on the wrong people?
That is kind of true, but it's also just because we don't have the experience that other people do. Because you don't know anything.
There you are, catch. Wait a minute. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
This is a very interesting situation. Man doesn't get in a situation like this every day.
That is very true.
Give me my robe, then I'm going to scream.
Maybe I could sell tickets.
Maybe I could sell tickets.
George, come on home, quick. Your father's had a stroke.
George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months.
So we've had a time jump.
Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve this institution and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to talk about chloroforming the building and loan.
He died?
That to the public, Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Oh, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering that you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. Oh, I don't mean any disrespect to him.
Well, you certainly are digging your own grave with these people.
Wait a minute. Now, you're right when you say my father was no businessman. I know that. Why he ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to Potter.
Because it's the one building that he doesn't own? I thought he did partially own it with his father.
They voted Potter down. Only one condition.
What's that?
And that's the best part of it. They've appointed George here as executive secretary to take his father's place.
Yeah, they did.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to school. This is my last chance. Uncle Billy here. He's your man.
But George, they'll vote with Potter otherwise.
Knew that was going to come down to that decision.
Didn't go.
That's right. Not only that, but he gave his school money to his brother Harry and sent him to college.
Wow.
Waiting for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan.
And he's not going to because of his football career.
You know what the three most exciting sounds in the world are? Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles.
I kind of disagree with you on that, but okay.
I want you to meet Ruth.
Hello.
How do you do? Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Meet the wife.
Did they already get married though? I guess so. I guess they are.
My father offered him a job.
About that job, Bruce spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it.
He's thinking about it real hard. Thinking about something real hard, I should say. I don't know what he's thinking about, but he's thinking about something real hard.
Did you know that Mary Hatch is back from school? Nice girl, Mary. Kind that'll help you find the answers, George. Stop that grunting. Me one good reason why you shouldn't call on Mary.
Sure, Sam Wainwright.
She lights up like a firefly whenever you're around.
I think I'll go out and find a girl and do a little passionate necking. Happen to be passing by her.
Yes, so I noticed. Have you made up your mind about coming in? Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
Well, I'll come in for a minute. But
Gate. There you go.
Get that dress.
You like it?
All right.
It's all right.
What's that? Some joke, huh?
Who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother. What did you come here for, then?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one that has all the answers.
Oh. Did not expect that reaction.
Mary, he's waiting.
Mother's being a little bit pushy. Needs to back off just a tad.
Hello, Sam. How are you? Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. Sam wants to speak to you.
Do you remember that night in Martini's bar when you told me you'd read someplace about making plastics out of soybeans? I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to that broken-down building and loan. Will you tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime?
Either that or you're giving him the chance to be broke.
I don't want any plastics. I don't want any ground floors. And I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do.
George.
So he actually got married.
Look at this. There's the kitty, Ernie. Here, come on, count it, Mary.
Oh, I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
Feel like a bootlegger's wife.
New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Oh, that does it. Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Come here, come here.
So I'm wondering why he needs an angel, because everything seems very good up to this point. Yes, he has done self-sacrifices, but not to the extent that I think that he would need an angel or anything like that. What's going on? Somebody died.
How'd it start?
Well, how does a thing like this ever start? All I know is the bank called our loan.
When?
About an hour ago, I handed over all our cash.
All of it?
Every cent of it, and still was less than we owed them.
Holy mackerel.
I am going all out to help in this crisis. I have just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs.
Just took over the bank.
But I am willing to guarantee your people, too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here, and I will pay 50 cents on the dollar. If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
I have some news for you, folks. I was just talking to old man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments to the bank. The bank's going to reopen next week.
But, George, I got my money here.
Came out after the Great Depression.
Old man Potter will pay 50 cents on the dollar for every share you got.
50 cents on the dollar?
Yes, cash.
Well, what do you say?
No, Tom, you have to stick to your original agreement. Now, give us 60 days on this.
Okay, Randall.
If Potter gets a hold of this building and alone, there'll never be another decent house built in this town. We've got to stick together, though. We've got to have faith in each other.
How much do you need?
Hey! I got $2,000. Thompson, how much do you want?
But it's your own money,
Now,
George.
don't mind about that. How much do you want now?
I can get along with 20 all right.
Yeah, it is his own money, though.
You don't have to sign anything. I know you pay when you can. That's okay.
I wouldn't have done what... I wouldn't have said that I have $2,000 right here.
3, 2, 1, bingo! We made it! Close the door, Eustace. We made it. Look, we're still in business. We still got $2 left. A toast to Mama Dollar and to Papa Dollar. And if you want to keep this old building and loan in business, you better have a family real quick.
I wish they were rabbits.
I wish there were, too.
I wish they were, too. Yeah. Did they not actually have a honeymoon? Or did I miss something?
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey. This is what I wished for.
Oh, we actually do find out what she wished for. Welcome to Bailey Park.
Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home.
Look at old George. He's always making a speech.
Bread, that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever.
Can't laugh off this Bailey Park anymore. Dozens of the prettiest little homes you ever saw. 90% owned by suckers who used to pay rent to you.
I offered to let George in on the ground floor in plastics, and he turned me down cold.
Not very happy.
What exactly do you want to see me about?
Oh, George, now that's just what I like so much about you.
Straight to the point?
Who hates his job, who hates the building and loan almost as much as I.
No, that's not the case.
Man who's been dying to get out on his own ever since he was born.
That is true, but not in the way that you're not in the way you're saying it.
Do I paint a correct picture, or do I exaggerate?
You exaggerate just a little bit.
George, I'll start you out at $20,000 a year.
That's probably a lot of money for the time. Yeah, that's a lot of money for the time, though.
George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, provided he has enough brains to climb aboard.
And he just insulted him, too. He's not going to take kindly to that.
You go on home and talk about it to your wife.
Okay, Mr. Potter. I don't need 24 hours. I don't have to talk to anybody. I know right now. And the answer's no, no.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was going to kind of think about it. But he should probably still talk to Mary about the offer that he was just made.
What is it you want, Mary? What, you want the moon? If you do, just say the word. I'll throw a lasso around it. Pull her down for you.
I want my baby to look like you.
What is it, a boy or a girl?
That was a yes or no. I mean, that wasn't the answer to his question.
Mary had her baby, a boy. Then came a war. Ma Bailey and Mrs. Hatch joined the Red Cross and sewed. Mary had 2 more babies, but still found time to run the USO. Sam Wainwright made a fortune in plastic hoods for planes. Potter became head of the draft board.
Potter should have been dead by now.
Harry Bailey, he shot down 15 planes. 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers. George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls.
Carlson.
Well, Harry Bailey wins congressional medal.
Takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Want to walk to New York? You know, they charge for meals and rent up there just the same as doing Bedford Falls.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, he's frantic.
Did you see Uncle Billy with any cash last night?
He had it on his desk counting it before he closed up.
Now look, did you buy anything?
Nothing.
He took the money. He took some money.
Where's that money, you silly, stupid old fool? Where's that money? You realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison.
That's true.
One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
I mean, has it been more than 24 hours since he lost it?
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? You're famous, George.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice it for the party tonight, Daddy.
Come on out in the kitchen with me while I finish dinner. Have a hectic day?
Oh, yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Please, please give him some peace. I know they want to talk to him, but please give him some peace and quiet. And let him talk to Mary.
Is she running a temperature? What is that?
Just a teensy one. 99.6 she'll be.
99.6, isn't it? No, never mind. Not important.
George, what's wrong?
Wrong everything, Troy. You call this a happy family. Why do we have to have all these kids? Give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink. No, here.
I like what he did there.
Say, what kind of a teacher are you?
Oh, come on.
You realize you'll probably end up with pneumonia on account of you? George. Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for, to have teachers like you, stupid, silly, careless people?
I've been there. I've been upset and stuff. I understand where he's coming from a little bit. Not exactly the situation he's in, but I understand that he's, upset, frustrated. I've been there myself, and it's just no fun.
Okay, that's fine, Mr. Wells. Give me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
I wonder how he's going to bounce back from this. I would just leave. I mean, and I'm not talking about forever. I'm just talking about, just get some fresh air and that sort of thing. And possibly have Mary join me if she wants to talk about what's going on with work and everything else.
Some sort of an accident, my company's shorting their accounts. I've got to raise $8,000 immediately.
Could it possibly be there's a slight discrepancy in the books?
No, sir, there's nothing wrong with the books. I've just misplaced $8,000. I can't find it anywhere.
You misplaced $8,000.
Well, Jack, or the uncle did, Billy, Uncle Billy.
You're the only one in town that can help me?
Don't tell him that.
I have some life insurance. $15,000 policy.
You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. You're worth more dead than alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them to let you have $8,000? Because they'd run you out of town on a rail.
I don't think they would.
As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm going to swear out a warrant for your arrest.
George to get a little bit of something back. I mean, he is a very charitable person, so I think it would be all right for him to ask for $8,000.
This Mr. George Bailey.
The next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse.
He kind of deserved it, to be honest, even though he is falling on hard times. Should have an automobile accident. Well, he's gonna die of hypothermia.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Look where you're going.
Help! Help!
This is not good. Even though he does help save a person, I'm worried about what happens after he gets out because it's still freezing cold. I guess it's warmer than the water would be, but still, you would still be concerned about hypothermia.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in.
Oh.
I knew if I were drowning, you'd try to save me. You see, you did. Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, now think, just things like that. Now, how do you know that?
I told you I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
I don't know whether I like it very much being seen around with an angel without any wings.
Oh, I've got to earn them. And you'll help me, won't you?
Sure. How?
By letting me help you.
But how?
If it hadn't been for me, everybody would be a lot better off. My wife and my kids and my friends.
What is the next step for him to move forward?
Yeah, so you still think killing yourself would make everyone feel happier, eh?
Is this gonna be like a Christmas Carol?
It would have been better if I'd never been born at all.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
That's not what he said exactly.
You've never been born. You don't exist.
Say something else in that ear.
Sure, you can hear out of it. Your lips stop bleeding too, George.
Well, what's happening here?
What you asked for.
Well, this is where I left my car, and it isn't here.
You have no car.
Well, I had a car, and it was right here. I guess somebody moved. I'm the fellow that owns the car that ran into your tree.
What tree?
I'm surprised he can actually communicate with people.
You had me worried. One of the oldest trees in Pottersville.
Pottersville? Well, you mean Bedford Falls?
I mean Pottersville.
Sorry if you guys can hear the dog barking.
Somebody just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell rings, it means that some angel's just got his wings.
How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293. Next May.
293 next May.
Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here? Huh?
That was mean.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
You know, that's another reason for me not to like you. That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning a kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself.
Poisoning a kid? But if he didn't exist, then that must have still happened, but with a different kid, and a different kid told them what exactly happened.
Because you were not born. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
No 4F card. I don't know what that is.
A chance to see what the world would be like without you.
You're crazy. That's what I think. You're screwy.
You're screwy.
I'm going home and see my wife and family. You understand that? And I'm going home alone.
Yeah, you have no wife and family.
The Bailey building alone was up there.
They went out of business years ago.
Ernie, take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Look, Bud, what's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield. My wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid, and I ain't never seen you before in my life.
See? I like old movies and how they say, see? I don't know why. It's just fun for me.
What's up, Ernie?
Where's Mary?
We better keep our eye on this guy. He's bats.
I want to know where Mary is. Actually, been wanting to know since this thing started where Mary is with the angel and Swish and stuff like that. I just haven't set it up until then.
Mary!
Thank you.
What's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where's my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
Where's Ernie?
Bert and Ernie.
I hate to do this to you, Bud, but...
Ow!
Run, George!
Mother, what do you want?
Please let me come in and keep me here until I get over it.
Get over what? I don't take in strangers unless they're sent here by somebody I know.
Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, sure I do.
When'd you see him last?
Today, over at his house.
It's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business.
So he lost the business and went into an insane asylum. Interesting.
Each man's life touches so many other lives. And when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
That's a powerful line.
All I know is this should be Bailey Park. But where are the houses?
You weren't here to build them. Your brother, Harry Bailey, broke through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
1911 to 1919.
Where's Mary?
The insane asylum?
He's just about to close up the library.
Oh, there must be some easier way for me to get...
No, there is no easier way.
Mary! Mary, it's George. Don't you know me? What's happened to us?
I don't know. You let me go.
Mary! Help me! Mary!
Somebody hit him on the head with the bottle.
Get me back to my wife and kids. Help me, Clarence, please.
They were saving it to the end so that he begs to be taken back.
I want to live again. Please, God.
Let me live again.
But this doesn't solve his money issue, though. Even when he gets back, which undoubtedly he will, because of how stories go.
You all right? Hey, what's the matter?
Now get out of here, Bert, or I'll hit you again. Get out of here.
What the Sam Hill you yelling for, George?
He was reversed back.
Hey, your mouth's bleeding. Are you sure you're all right?
What you...
My mouth's bleeding.
My mouth's bleeding. My mouth's bleeding.
Bert! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan! Hey! Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter!
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
I know, $8,000.
George, I've got a little paper.
I'll bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't it wonderful? I'm going to jail.
George, darling, where are you? Oh, George, George.
Let me touch you. Well, you're
Are you real?
You told some people you were in trouble and they scattered all over town collecting money.
I'm not gonna go, George. I changed my mind.
So I was kind of right. They actually are giving him back the money that he loaned him.
Mr. Gower cabled you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
So I did kind of call what was gonna happen at the end. I didn't expect that, but that's what happened. I mean, he's got more than enough money to pay it back or whatever it is.
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right.
So I really like this movie. I thought it was gonna be like a Christmas Carol, where the character needed to learn to kind of appreciate Christmas and appreciate the people around them. But that wasn't the case. It was different because the character didn't need to learn any of those things. He already knew about those things, and it was kind of the opposite, which is what I really like about the story is he was a giver. He kept giving, giving and more giving, and he reached his breaking point where he could not. He basically gave everything that he had and made sacrifices for people that he loved and cherished and friendship and all that. But at some point, it became too much for it, and that's when the $8,000 comes into play, and he doesn't have those. He didn't have those 8,000. He didn't have $8,000 to give anymore. And they were going to. Potter was going to make sure that he was arrested for it, but because of his character and all that stuff, the town came together to give him the $8,000 that he needed. And it was mainly due to Sam Wainwright because of the 25,000, or at least that's what they listed. Because I don't know, with all the people that came forward to give him money and stuff, that would have been enough. But with that, with that exposition about the 25,000, it works, in that stuff. The life insurance policy would have paid enough to cover that money, plus you'd have like $7,000 left over for setting up the family and setting up them for the rest of their lives, hopefully, possibly, given inflation and all this stuff like that. So that I really liked, and I cannot wait to get home from work to edit this because, again, the message itself was different than what we traditionally see in movies nowadays, where the person has to learn to has to learn to lighten up and like Christmas and has to learn about giving and stuff like that. So to me, since I hadn't heard that, hadn't seen that message in a movie yet, or you don't see that message a lot where the person is just so giving that they need that basically they need help. So I found that kind of interesting in and of itself. Um, so it was just a different twist, and I like that twist and the overall, um, plot of the film because I'd never encountered a character like that before, I don't think. I liked I liked George and Mary's relationship. It was very, very good. I like how she answered questions and then was also giving answers kind of in a vague statement as well. And they were kind of a perfect match for that, I feel. Um, because they suit each other very, very well. They they both have sort of this um dynamic where they kind of test each other, but also at the same time not test each other. They just have kind of a playfulness about them in the way that they communicate with each other, and I like that. So it was not more, of a test really. It was just in the way that they tend to communicate with each other that I really like so much, and I like how they deal with problems and really solve problems. I also like that Mary is willing to self-sacrifice stuff for the good of the community as well, because I don't think George could have been in a relationship where that would work if his partner was not able to do some self-sacrifices as well. Case in point, the $2,000 um for the bank, that was their honeymoon money. They decided to go with um giving it to giving it to the people that way they could pay their bills. I really like the idea that she came up with a plan B for their honeymoon, and I really like that. Um, that was really, really nice, and that's how you know when you got a good one there, George, is um, she's willing to make sacrifices just as the same as you are, and willing to come up with alternative plans to kind of save the night or come up with ideas. It doesn't have to be plan A all the time. That was really sweet. Really like that. She also stuck to her word about not marrying anyone else, and she was gonna only marry him because she loves him until the day that she dies. So that was kind of sweet to see when we got to the part, about the present y- or the future or the past, depending on how you want to look at it, because he was never born. So you could say it's the present, you could say it's a little bit of the past, but mostly we stayed in the present because I think most of it would be, technology reasons, um, why they wouldn't be able to do the, past, present, past, or future. So, not that they needed to, I just like seeing that. Over the course of time, I got to see how he developed these relationships with the community and why he was so popular. Because at the beginning, I wasn't really sure how he was so popular with people when he was, at his high school dance or whatever it was, and people just seemed to know him off the street and that sort of thing. But he grew up there, and it's a small town, so I guess people, would still know each other. All right. I really like the name Potter, and I think his first name was Harry, so it would be Harry Potter, but I didn't put those two together until just now, which was interesting because I do like the name Potter. I don't really like the name Harry all that much, but um Potter was the Scrooge of the film, and you know there was lessons to be learned uh for Potter, but he really didn't seem as receptive to it as other people would be, which is fine, but I thought Potter would have been dead at a certain point because of um how old he was in the beginning. So back in 1919 versus uh 1946, or And I know it's only like what 30 years, but still, Potter looked pretty old in the beginning, so that's what made me think that Potter was not going to be around at that point in time. But apparently, that's not the case. He has all this money, and he just cares about money and stuff like that. And to a certain point, you kind of have to care about money just so that you can live. But at a certain point, you really, really, money is not everything. Money is good enough for getting you material stuff, but at some point, it's just too much. And I like that everyone just called him by his, last name. Um, Throughout the film, it makes it so that there's a dynamic there. To my knowledge, he's not really friendly with anyone at all except maybe his right hand man. It was shocking to see that he was not willing to give the 8,000, even down to the point of offering George a job. And luckily, George didn't take the job, but um, which we, which the audience, I would imagine, or us, the viewer, would be, grateful for. I had mentioned something about the handshake because back in um, old times, old times, back in the olden days, I guess you could say, or I don't know what to call it, old days, whatever. Um, when you shook somebody's hand, it meant something. It was like a contract in a sense. Basically, there was no paperwork as far as I'm aware, and so by shaking your hand, you're agreeing to pay back whatever it is, if it happens to be a loan or if it happens to build a house for, a couple months, then they will pay you a certain amount, and you're basically agreeing to finish the house, and they're agreeing to pay you for your labor. Um, so that's where the handshake thing came in, and I was thinking maybe that's, you know, maybe the 1940s isn't when that happened, maybe it's further back, but I do know that there's a history with, you know, uh, a handshake and keeping your word because when you shake somebody's hand back then, it meant that you kept your word on what you were going to do for that person. So I'm glad that after he did that, he said, "No, I'm not gonna do that." Um, you know, go fly a kite or whatever, and he didn't need to think it over because he knew what Mary's answer was going to be. And by this point, we already saw Mary's answer, what she did with the honeymoon money for other people, because he knew what Mary was going to say. When Potter finds the $8,000 in the newspaper, I didn't really have much of a reaction to it because I kind of zoned out, and that's kind of the important, that's the important part, and that's kind of the catalyst for the second half of the movie, essentially, um, or the second act, I would say, of the movie where you know everything happens because of the $8,000, and it leads us to the rest of the film with the angel and with Clarence and all that stuff. I really like movies that show in a character's entire lifespan, essentially, and with George, we see it up to a certain point up until that moment, and I really like that. I really like that in Citizen Kane. In Citizen Kane, we saw the entire life of, life of a character and what they got up to and how they, you know, think and act and stuff like that in their character, essentially, in their morals and all that stuff. And here we get the same thing, except that it's not their entire life. It's just up until a certain point. But it's crucial for us to understand where George Bailey is coming from when he goes to commit suicide because of the $15,000 loan policy that would help his family and set them up for the rest of their lives and pay off the 8,000. I'm really starting to like movies that invest in seeing the entire lifespan of a character, or see their entire lifespan up to a certain point, like this movie did. I think that's all I have for you guys in this video. If there's anything that I missed that you guys would wish me to talk about a little bit more, we can do that down in the comments below. If you guys have any questions about the reaction or anything that I missed in talking about in this outro, do let me down in the comments below, and we can have a discussion about it down in the comments. But with that, guys, I think that's everything for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns. Do consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And with that, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, guys.